Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me live today on the 4th of December 2021 and bringing you some breaking news because I was just checking into the, with your host Andy, just checking in on the cryptos. It's actually 6:45 in the morning for me here in the UK and I haven't been to sleep yet because I'm getting the ultimate live show ready for tonight. But breaking crypto news, just checking in on the Bitcoin markets and it's not looking particularly ideal. So I thought I'd just give you a quick update on that and we'll have a look through it live and see what's going on. And I'll see if I can shed some light on if you need to be fearful or not, if you need to sell everything or not. So not financial advice, just my opinion and giving you an update on what the numbers are today. So stick with us and let's get into the SHTF news with the breaking news for the cryptos and Bitcoin massive crash. Let's get into it.
And now the news.
Indeed. So what we're going to do is skip straight through. We'll obviously tonight I'll be doing the full SHTF news rundown in the show tonight, assuming I actually get any sleep between now and then. So we're going to basically get straight into the economic side of it as we normally would and check out, look at this sea of red. That's why we're here. It's an absolute bloodbath. And I first noticed because I've got like $120 of Ethereum sitting in a wallet, which I can't take out because the charge to take it out would be more than what it's actually worth. So it's probably worth about $30, right? But instead of it saying 120, it said 90 instead of 120. I thought, hold on a minute. So I checked in and sure enough, it was just an absolute bloodbath. So I just had a quick check into it. I've just jumped in to buy. I've only just got the window set up ready. And an eyelash in my eye just before going live. Oh dear. But yeah, I wanted to bring this to you as quick as possible. Funnily enough, I did warn you about this about 2 weeks ago, I think it was, on an SHTF news that I did on the Ultimate Live Show. And I did mention that there's a time of year, which is about now, where people typically cash out for Christmas time. Yeah. And they move their money into, these are like professional traders, right? And they move all their money out of cryptos and into fiat currency or into USDT or something like that, yeah? And they hold it in sort of dry powder over the Christmas and then they'll start reinvesting when the season comes back round after the Christmas holidays. And so I did mention that there tends to come a time when there's a big drop, and sure enough, a couple of weeks later, there you go. So that was probably the peak of the market for this year that we saw at $64,000 a few weeks back. But now you can see we're down to 47. So it's a significant drop. And Ethereum was like 4,400 or something. So, you know, yeah, it's worthy. It's obviously, you know, people are going to be quite worrisome about, you know, should they sell and is it going to go down any further? But as you can see, it's already started to recover. Let's see if we can get onto the 1 minute action and see. Yeah, it looks like it's starting to recover, but it's quite a significant drop. And you can see here where we went right down to $42,000 there, look, which is quite significant drop from where we were. What we're talking 53 up here, look, in the day before. Not even the day before, 3 o'clock this morning. So 3 hours ago, we were at 52, yeah? And by the time I've got set up, and I've seen this happening about an hour ago, so it says about 5:15, so yeah, about an hour and a half ago is when I saw that. Just as it started coming back up from 42,000, so that's when I started getting my stuff set up for you. And I wanted to let you know what was going on. And particularly in the UK, if you're just waking up, then of course, this will be your... And do us a favor and give the video a like if you've just come across it. It helps to other people to find it. Of course, this is a brand new channel. I'm moving the SHTF news from my original channel onto this dedicated channel from now on. So this will be the channel to get your SHTF news. Things like, you know, emergency braking, Bitcoin, crypto, crashing news. I say crashing, it's a significant drop. I wouldn't call it a crash per se, but a lot of other people seem to be. But like I say, it's the weekend. That tends to be something that happens at the weekend. We're leading into that season. I was just seeing if there was any significant news that might have led to some sort of a panic dump. And you see here, hackers stole $120 million worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum in attack on DeFi protocol. But what you tend to find is that these aren't anything to do with any confidence lost in Bitcoin or Ethereum as a protocol or as a cryptocurrency. This is about exchanges and things like that not having their own internal securities up to scratch, and things like the private keys get leaked, which of course, you know, there are private key vaults and stuff you can pay to store your private keys, but you know, some of these other organizations don't go far enough. You know, things like Binance and Coinbase and things like that, they've got significant investment in their private key vaults and things. So even corporations like Tesla, who have a lot of Bitcoin that they own, they don't even themselves keep hold of their own crypto keys. They pay companies like Coinbase to hold their private keys for them because they're set up and got the investment to be able to keep them securely. So this usually ends up being something like that. So I don't think it's necessarily quite so much as to do with that. But we can see here, look, this is the depth chart which shows the orders to sell and the orders to buy, and this is obviously where it meets in the middle, where we come to this $47,000 agreement. I'll tell you what else is a good indication as well, is if you're a lot of things have been slow as well, but I was going to look at the the gas prices for Ethereum. It's even going to let me. Oh, this is well buggy. So you're talking like pretty epic. Let's get into the let's jump back here quickly, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the Etherscan gas, and then we can have a proper look and see what the gas rates are. And the reason I'm looking at the gas rates for Ethereum is that it gives you a good indication of market panic. When the market starts to panic, people will ramp up how much they're prepared to pay for a transaction because they want to sell or move into something else to stay safe. But it's high, but it's not epically high. So we're over here at Etherscan, and you can see here, it's just gone down, look. And when I first logged in and looked at this, it was at 480 or something. Yeah. So as this price goes up, and again, the weekend is actually a cheap time to do transactions. You see it's just jumped up there to 319 now for the high rate. And so what happens is when people start trying to sell their Ethereum, because we see here it's dropped 14%, so people might be trying to sell that and jump into something else. And the more people that are trying to do transactions using the Ethereum blockchain and things like that, this is where the gas price comes in, and any other cryptocurrency that's based on the Ethereum blockchain, which is quite a few of them, are all affected by these gas prices. So as more and more people start selling off, yeah, this is where you find, you can see here, look, average time. And again, it's quite slow, 600 seconds, right, for a transaction. And that's a lot of time when you're trying to get out of Ethereum because it's going down in price big time and it's dropping. It's important you can get out of it quick. This is where if you pay a higher price, gas price, it will basically be done in less time, 30 seconds, look, instead of 10 minutes at the lowest price. So as we see this go above about 500, it was on about 480 or something, the highest I've seen it this morning. It shows that a lot of people are trying to move stuff about, usually in a panic mode as well, because they don't care about the gas price to a certain degree. They just want to get out of the crypto, right? But like I say, it does look like things have found a new sort of area of resistance, and you can usually tell if you come back in time. Let's go over the 4-hour charts, and you can see back here, yeah. Let's move along and zoom in here. So this low back here, you can see it spent quite a lot of time down here between the 39 up to about the 42 here. So you see this area is a big area of resistance. I talked about that a few weeks ago in one of the other SHTF live shows. And so what happens is that this is a well-tested area of resistance, and so where it's gone up sort of linearly almost along here, and then it's sort of stabilized, where it's dropped down, it's dropped straight back down, look, to that area of resistance back here. And that was back in the 25th of the 9th. So yeah, the end of September basically is where we broke out from there, and it went up to the highs of the 64, 65 I mentioned. 69 there, look. And then it's basically, because it spent a reasonable amount of time there, look, to stabilize itself and form itself a nice sort of area of resistance there with all the trading going on, a lot of agreements over that time as to what Bitcoin is worth at that point, about 62-ish, right? And then all of a sudden, look, this is epic, boomf, yeah? And you see it comes straight down to that 42 mark, which is, you know, where we last had that area. And that's generally what happens. So you can somewhat predict where it's going to bottom out, right? And I did see some news talking about, I think it was the Brazilian... Was it the Brazilian president or something? Well, the government anyway, bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin at 48, I think. Yeah. So they did all right at that. I think they bought something like 38 Bitcoin at 48. It might have been more than that. I'll need to look it up. But yeah, that's a significant drop. Look at that. Someone's made some money out of that, and someone's lost some money out of that. You know, that's quite a big old dent you're going to see in that, right? And of course, unfortunately, people don't even know this has happened yet. A big part of my audience is in the United States, typically. And of course now, they're asleep. So at the moment, they don't even know this is happening. And of course, they're going to wake up to a big panic. And this is why I've done this live stream for you now. And of course, the people in the UK that are just about to wake up. I haven't been to sleep yet, so I thought I'd stay up and bring this to you and just give you the update. Now, I don't think this is going to go... I think we've seen the bottom here. And again, I don't want to... This isn't financial advice or anything. I'm not telling what I think you should do or not, whether you should sell or buy the dip or take advantage of this sort of low that's popped in. We could see some news coming out next week that could push it lower, you see. We could see some good news coming out that pushes it higher, and it looks like it's starting to stabilize now. If we move that back onto the 15-minute candles, we get a better look at what's going on right now. Look, and you can see it's finding itself this 47 and a half range here. Let's see if we can find last time it was happy sitting back there at about the 47. It's quite far back, so it's done a lot of damage. All those gains and things, and we were seeing a sort of steady decline since about 2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, on the Friday, as people were closing up shop. You started to see this decline, and then all of a sudden it just went whoomph straight down. So yeah, bit worrisome, and of course people are going to see that and just panic straight away, but it's kind of too late, to be honest, at this point. And you can see they've all had a hit pretty much, yeah. And like I say, there's no particular news. I mean, it's just wiped off. What are we on now? The hold on, let's jump. Look, so you see here the GUI price. If I can drop that down for you, see it says 766 GUI, right? So 565 basically standard. So if I refresh this page, because this has been sitting here for about half an hour when I first saw this going on, and now you see it's down to 288. So that was what I was saying earlier, it was way over 500. So this window's been sitting here maybe like an hour. As soon as I saw that dropping down, I started setting the equipment up so I could bring you this SHTF breaking news with a crypto Bitcoin report. Obviously it's a new channel that I've just moved everything over onto, so I don't expect to have too many people with me live currently, but of course this will stay on the channel so people can find it later and get a general rundown of what's been going on. So yeah, but it's wiped quite a lot off the total market cap. Remember the other week we're looking at is 3 trillion. It's dropped. You see this here? Let's go to the 1-day chart. Look, you can see the damage it's done. This is looking at the overall market cap of the entire cryptocurrency market combined value. So this is whether people are actually just moving it from Bitcoin into something else, some other cryptocurrency, or whether this is a case of literally people pulling all their money out of cryptos altogether, putting them into US dollar or British pounds or euros or USDT or something like that, some sort of stable coin, yeah, that's pegged to a fiat currency. That's when you know people have, and this is what I said to expect a few weeks ago, as I mentioned earlier, where towards about this time of year, it happens every year if you look at the pattern. We could probably do that actually. I was going to say we might better look back and see these dips every Christmas, but it's leading up to Christmas basically. I used to put it down to, it was quite a widely talked about thing, sort of even quite a few years ago. It was always talked about that the time leading up to Christmas, and there was the time where people needed to do their financials and things as well at a certain time of the year, which would mean that they would cash out or they would, you know, sort of release their profits at a certain time of year. And of course you would see these dips all happen at the same time, and everyone's trying to get out of the market before anyone else when that time comes along, you know. The Christmas time where they want to move their cryptos out of the crypto market, keep them on the sidelines, and then sort of next year when the season comes around and there's quite well established economic seasons throughout the year in terms of what's a typically bearish part of the year, and it goes on seasons and it happens differently in different countries, and people manipulate and trade even those differences and those seasons, yeah. So yeah, this is typically a period of low activity and people pulling their money out. So we expect to see a dip, but it's just happened all of a sudden, almost to the point where it seems somewhat coordinated. And that's the worry. And we have to sort of check, and if you check back with the Ultimate Live show for tonight, that I'll be going live at 11 PM UK time, 6 PM Eastern time. You can search Ultimate Live Show, hashtag Ultimate Live Show at the time, and you'll see it streaming. That'll be on the Andology channel, but then the segments will be cut up and put on this new Ultimate Live Show dedicated channel from now on. So this is the channel you want to subscribe to. This news, breaking news crypto broadcast now is exclusive to the Ultimate Live Show. This won't be put on any other channel of my bigger channels. So yeah, this is where I'm going to be doing them from now on. So but yeah, so that's quite a significant move in the crypto market, and I hope people aren't feeling too so let me just quickly say hello to Vaponotic Vapors. Great to see you in the chat there. Thank you for your comment there. Educate me on the outcome of this and what it may mean for fiat currency. That's a good question, because of course what we want to know is this happening on a wider level? And again, I came straight to you as soon as I saw that drop happening. I went straight in there to have a look, so I could see. So I opened up a few windows to get cracking. Let's have a quick scout on the mainstream and see what any of these guys are talking about yet, if anything, if they're not even awake yet. Didn't seem to be before. The mainstream usually loves to comment on significant drops. But it does look like there's a reasonable. I mean, you can see from the tickers here. This is just on the Telegraph, Financial Times part of it. There's a little bit of red there, but it's not too bad. Oil's up. Look, Bitcoin's down 11%. It's saying here. Obviously, it dropped more than that in just an hour, which was quite significant. Gold's looking like it's reasonably stable, and of course, gold is a good indication because, you know, people fleeing into gold is another hedge against the dollar and the pound and the euro and fiat currencies, yeah. And yeah, I don't think this is anything particularly. I mean, I say I don't think it's anything particularly to worry about. I just don't think this is going to be a crash to nothing, right? It's obviously taken a massive hit, and there does seem to be some big institutions that are taking advantage of this hit. As I mentioned, the government, who had themselves basically bought up, I think it was 38 Bitcoin. I'll have to look it up for you and see what country it was, but let's have a look. Was it this one? El Salvador President Nayib Bukele, whose country holds Bitcoin on its balance sheet and has purchased coins during previous dips, announced another purchase of 150 Bitcoin for around $48,000 each. So bear in mind, as I mentioned on this chart here, only a couple of weeks ago we were riding along at about 60 odd grand. Yeah, $64,000 per Bitcoin. And El Salvador just snatched up 150 Bitcoin at 48 grand. So they've done well on that. Some people are estimating Bitcoin was going to reach 100 grand by the end of the year. And let's face it, we haven't got that much time left, have we? So whether it will achieve that or not, I don't know. I think it's a big ask for that to go from that to have gone from 65 to 100 grand by January the 1st. I think that was doable. It would have been a newsworthy event, even that, because you're talking about quite a significant increase in its value, which would mean that this market cap overall would need to also increase quite considerably. We're talking like adding another $1.5 trillion. That's a lot of new money coming into the market. That would have to literally be new money. It's very unlikely that you would see everybody, you know, coming out of all these smaller cryptos and altcoins and things and putting all their money back into crypto. It does happen when the alt season comes to an end and everyone cashes out of the altcoins and they go back into the stable or the main coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that, right? That tends to be somewhere where people flee to, or even Binance Coin is a popular one as well for people who are trading on the DeFi exchanges and things like PancakeSwap and stuff like that, right? So a lot of those people get out of the smaller coins and just come back into the BNB. So you generally, for Bitcoin to get to 100 grand, this is doubling it, right? So you're talking about a market cap of 900. This is what I'm saying here. Look, you can see $900 billion. So that's like $0.9 trillion for those who aren't familiar with the trillions and billions, right? So that's basically $1 trillion right there. So in order for that to reach, this is why people have to be realistic about it when they're going, oh, 100 grand by New Year, easy peasy. It's like, really? You're talking about, like I say, this to get to 100 grand isn't going to come from everybody just selling out of their altcoins into Bitcoin, because that just normally doesn't happen. When the market goes down, the entire market goes down, like all boats in a harbour. You know, when the tide goes out, all boats rise and sink, and it's the same with the altcoins and Bitcoin. So what I'm saying is in order for that to reach 100 grand, you would have to have this 900 billion, this basically $1 trillion added to the market again. So we would have to see like a 4 trillion market cap of the crypto market overall. And to try and attract $1 trillion new dollars to the crypto space, these would be people who either have already got a small investment in crypto and want to add to that, or people, more likely the only way to get to 100 grand would be more people coming in brand new, people talking about it at work, people talking about it with their family around the Thanksgiving, you know, typically is another time you see a a bit of a pump, you know, around Thanksgiving time. People see their family, they talk about it, they give it as gifts as well. Things like that has become more and more popular. So again, you see these times a year where, you know, they end up being more popular for having a few pumps. So if you know when to expect it to happen, obviously people, hey, Danger Bob, our best friend of the channel in the whole wide world. It's so lovely to see you. And you know what, Danger Bob, I was actually in the middle of cutting up the Patreon video for you. Just a walk and talk in the woods with Hugo, but you know, I talk about some stuff in that. So I've got that to cut up, but I haven't been to sleep yet, and I saw this major crash going on. I say crash, it's just an epic drop, right? I mean, you know, it's a sea of red. I mean, you can't you can't hide that, right? So there's a sea of red in there, and of course, you know, looking through, seeing just how much had been shot. You see it's dropping again, look. So this is what I'm saying, it's not over yet. And we don't usually start seeing the true global market response until like a Monday, when people start waking up, you know, through the time zones, and then people figure out, you know, the traders, some of the traders sort of work Monday to Friday, believe it or not, you know, even though the crypto market is a 24/7, 365 affair. That's why a lot of traders like it, coming from stocks and stuff, because like, you know, cryptos, you can trade all night, all day, all night. It's global. It's one of the few things that is truly global in the way that it operates. And so you can see this trickling down to 46 now. We were just peaked up to 48 nearly, and now it's dropping back down to 46. And this is what's going to happen, you see. And this is why I wanted to bring you this breaking report now before it's too late. Because what will happen is people wake up in the morning, like I say here, it's like it's 7:11, 7:12, 7:15 in the morning. And people wake up and all they see is they log into their mobile phone when they wake up. If they just bought some Bitcoin a few days ago, all they're doing when they wake up is checking the price of Bitcoin. They see this and they're like, literally, "Whoa, my friend lied to me. He said I'd be a millionaire. And now look at it." And then they, of course, they panic and they go, sell, 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 quick, 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 before it drops anymore. But of course, it's done this so many times in the past. There's quite a significant amount of things that would have to happen for literally crypto market to go to zero now. It's highly unlikely. Like I say, it would take so long to drain out $2.2 trillion, right? And again, this is the problem, is that people don't understand the sort of numbers we're talking about when we're talking trillions, you know. And for those that aren't familiar, for example, 1 million seconds, if you were going to count seconds, 1 million seconds would take you 10 days of counting seconds to count to 1 million. 10 days, right? If it's 1 billion, it's going to take you about 32 years to count seconds. So just the difference between 1 million and 1 billion, this is why the human brain struggles to comprehend it, right? The difference between 1 million and 1 billion is the difference between counting out seconds for 10 days or counting out seconds for 32 years. And 1 trillion seconds is going to take you 32,000 years to count out. So when we're talking about, like, you would have to have 900 billion or basically 1 trillion new dollars come into the Bitcoin space for it to get to 100 grand by the end of the year. Yeah, you start to see what we're chatting about. And of course, at a time as well where, you know, we're all skint because, you know, there's people being made redundant left, right and centre. I don't have the flow of clients that I would normally have or always had over the years, or typically not had a problem with. And for the last 2 years, it's been a complete nightmare. So if it's been a nightmare for me, I'm sure it's been a nightmare for, and I'm top of my game in terms of what I do professionally. So if I'm struggling, I think to myself, wow, how will I average normal kind of level? I don't mean that in a funny way, but as in, you know, I would normally be the person people come into offering a job, right? But so the entire market is struggling. And if they're not being fired or made redundant because of what the pandemic has done to all the businesses around the world, then it's a case of they've left their job because of the mandates and things like that. There's a load of that going on, and you think, what are they planning to do long term? You know, what's their plan financially? I mean, some of them might have investments, but it's highly unlikely. Particularly some of these doctors who've been a doctor for like 20 years, they're just walking out on it. So there's all this going on. There's shortages going on, so people are starting to get worried and getting a little bit more cautious about what they're doing with their money and things like that. So let's have a look. I think crypto is mainly an option for China capital flight, no? No, I mean, I think crypto serves quite a lot of purposes on quite a lot of fronts. And of course, this is why I said earlier about the El Salvadorian government have just bought 150 Bitcoin this morning at $48,000. So they know what they're doing. They're getting involved in it as well. But it's a good way of settling debt country to country. But that's usually XRP Ripple is more popular for the international banks and things like that are already using some of these cryptocurrencies to settle their back-end trades faster, more efficiently, more transparently behind the scenes, using some of the infrastructure that's been built as part of the crypto space with things like XRP Ripple, which is typically one of the go-to coins for settling large transactions temporarily. In the background is how they do it, and then the other side, the fiat side, catches up after. But at least it means they can release the funds straight away, bank to bank, using the cryptocurrency. So it's kind of being used everywhere. And as I'll probably mention tonight in the Ultimate Live Shows episode of the SHTF news that I'll do, breaking news tonight, that'll be more in-depth with top stories, earthquake news, La Palma volcano updates and things like that I'll be going through tonight, so don't miss that. And I'll be cutting that segment up and putting it on this channel as normal anyway, exclusively. It won't be appear anywhere else. So if you're not subscribed, then make sure you do that, because now is definitely the time. We need to give it one of these. For those that are just arriving in, make sure you give it a like. It helps the video rock along. And of course, feel free to subscribe, and you'll see your name popping up here in the beautiful lights that you deserve. So yeah, it's been a let's just see what's going on quickly in the chat, because we've got trying to find your PayPal, I think. Oh, Andology at PayPal. No, PayPal at andology.com, innit? Is my thingy link. Yeah, that would be a disaster, Danger Bob. I literally wouldn't be able to even make it on tonight at that point. Look at the state of me. I've spent the entire week just trying to get all the videos up on the Ultimate Live Show new channel that we're on now, and it's been going all right, actually. I must say it's it's been going all right. I mean, I haven't really published it to anyone or anything like that, so it's kind of, it's not behind the scenes, but you know, I want to make sure it's all looking good before I kind of show it to anyone. So this is basically what we're talking about here, and I've now uploaded the segments, so there's all in order as well, date order. So there's all the SHTF news in date order. There's the crash in Bitcoin there, look, and then we've got all the truth or trivia uploaded, all in order again, all 7 of them. So we've had 7 episodes. This is going to be our 8th episode tonight, so it's not really a beta launch anymore, is it? So you got all the memes there, look, all color coded, so you know which one you're on. All the most popular Poopin Pigeons segments as well that everyone loves. And of course we had Michael Gunner as our winner of the Poopin Pigeons pin badge. I got pooped award. And then another one of a lot of people's favourites is the Where's Hugo with the Street View game. So all the playlists there as well. So it's all organised nice and beautifully for everybody. So there's no excuses, so you can jump in there and watch your favourite segments and see what go on, and give them a like and a share. Try and start building this channel up a little bit from where it's been sat, and we'll see what we can get rocking on this channel as I start to do more regular live streams like this of things that are happening around the world as they happen, basically. So oh no, Danger Bob, that's going to be a disaster. Whose banter are we going to rely on for the show, Danger Bob? I'm glad to hear you've got family in tomorrow, though. That sounds like it'll be a good time. Is that like a belated Thanksgiving thing, or is that family arriving that are going to be staying there all the way through to the Christmas? And because I think you're in America, aren't you, Danger Bob? I'm pretty sure you're in the US. So yeah, well, if you can pop in tonight, Danger Bob, that would be lovely to see you. I'd be very, but at least I'd better tell people you got family, and if we don't see you in the Truth or Trivia or the Where's Hugo guessing and stuff like that. But it's been lovely to see you in the chat. And like I say, I wasn't particularly expecting to see anybody live, particularly because at this time of night or morning, it's America's asleep pretty much, aren't they? Basically, yeah. And in UK is only just waking up, and on a Saturday, I imagine most people are trying to have themselves a nice lay-in. Oh, okay, alternate Thanksgiving, that's cool. I'm glad you're getting to get together with them though, Danger Bob. I wondered if things like the restrictions are already starting to come out, because they are here in the UK. Oh, cool. I've got in Seattle. So is that why... You know what I'm going to pull up, don't you? Is it this one? No, it's not. Is it this one? No. It's this one. There. So is this... This is where you're at, isn't it? You're the only one. Well, you're the only one. You're going to have them all there, though, aren't you? How about a joke? Definitely. That would be a great way to end the crypto crashing live stream for the SHTF news. And maybe if you can't be there tonight, then I can pass on your joke, Danger Bob, to everybody else. I'm just keeping my eye on the crypto prices as well, but it does seem to be still hovering around the 47,000. I have a step ladder because my real ladder left when I was a child. Very good. Very good. Oh dear. Do you know, I've had a stepdad growing up, and that's the view from Alki Beach. Is it interesting? I'm glad that I wondered whereabouts this was from, because I know obviously that Seattle tower there. I do need to get some new backgrounds figured out for the Ultimate Live Show, because we've got the usual arrangement that we've always had for the Ultimate Live Show, but I do feel like we need to get some new ones in. I think we should be in the spaceship. Puget Sound. I am across the burger. So, have you... I'd love to go and see Seattle. I saw Toronto. That was quite nice. And that was my closest taste of America, was being in Canada and seeing America across from the Niagara Falls when we went there with Magic Hand and everything. But yeah, so I'm gonna... That's about... Let's just very quickly check back in to make sure nothing drastic is happening again with the cryptos, because we don't want to be... Like I say, it does look like it's difficult to tell if it's going to recover or not, but at least it's going horizontally, which is what you want to see for a while people. But you just got to be careful as people start waking up and they start seeing this and they start panicking. Yeah. Let's give this a proper refresh so I can... In fact, that might be a mistake, because this is... I think people are waking up and they're all logging in, and it's slowing it down completely, some of these things. Let's have a look at coin market cap and see what the speed's like on that. No, it's alright. Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? Binance seems to be a bit behind, but let's check the gas prices, see if that's up or down. Yeah, that's not too bad. So I think it is stabilising. We just got to be careful as people start waking up, basically. Yeah, as people start waking up around the world, and it's whether they panic or not, and then essentially cause a worse problem than it needs to be. Space Needle on my right. You go my history. Yeah, but I quite like... I really enjoy travelling around Asia and things, and some of the architecture and skyscraper-y type, city-type things. Because we don't really have that type of architecture in the UK. We don't... It's all sort of old-school architecture. You don't really have... You do have skyscrapers in all the major cities, but it's not as popular and stuff. Yeah, I am as well, Danger Bob. Across the board, not just for cryptos, but just generally. I can't see how it can't, really. When they're printing what they're printing at the rate they're printing it at, there's no way it can't come to a head. With all the businesses failing, with all the revenue that's not being had, and with all the money that is being made is with the big elite corporates that you never see that money. It gets hidden away just in their big bank accounts that can never be spent by even 900 generations or whatever they calculated it to be, right? 900 generations of family could never work again, and it would take 900 generations of family to spend that wealth. And that includes future predicted inflation. So it's crazy. So that money isn't being, you know, the money flow of the flow of money is basically not any flow that there is of money. Is just the big corporates shifting around their big lots, which no one else gets to see. So it doesn't benefit the economy as a whole. The same as a lot of these contracts that have been given out for these trillions of dollars that Biden's signing off all the time. Trump did the same. All these contracts, you're never going to see a penny of that, right? That's going in the big pharma industrial complex and the big military industrial complex, and the trickle down economy effect on that takes so long to get down to us poor little people down here. So yeah, but yeah, there's no curves, so you can get away with I did get told off in Canada because I didn't completely stop at a stop sign, even though it was totally clear, but apparently that's a thing. I didn't get into trouble or anything, but should raise interest rates, that kills options trade. Yeah, it is going to be a bloodbath, but I think they know that the only way out of it is to make it a bloodbath. So I think when it crashes the next time, I think it's going to crash for good, and I think that's going to be the end of fiat currencies, to be honest, for a long time, until we see them again. I think it's going to go central bank digital currencies, going to be linked into some sort of a passport ID that's combined into a blockchain wallet of some kind, that's a centralized version of the blockchain that the government, the global type government, will control. And I think that's how it's going to go. And I think before you can achieve that globally, you first need to create a situation where you kind of destroy all of the currencies all at the same time, all at once. And rather than going through a long drawn out period of inflation and poverty and starvation and famine, I think it's probably better for them to just toss the table over, hence the reset. That's the whole point of the terminology, reset, isn't it? Reset isn't something that happens slowly. Reset is something you just go bosh, yeah? Like resetting a fuse. And that's how they talk about it. So I don't see it as being some long drawn out decay. I think it's going to be some epic moment of whatever it is, but it'll be a cascade effect. And as soon as the dollar fails, I think the euro's 48 hours behind the dollar, and the pound is about 24 hours behind the euro, and the yen something like 24 hours behind the pound. So within a week, basically all countries' currencies would have collapsed all in one go, just as a cascade effect. And of course, that could be part of the plan, because before you can come out into the new, you need to destroy the old. And so, yeah. But I think the only fiat currencies we're going to see from now on, though, Danger Bob, is going to be a central digital-based one that they keep going on about. They're already talking about rolling it out. And I'll probably go over some top stories tonight and include some news on that as well that I find to do with the government's rolling out cryptocurrencies as well as part of this sort of big push. I don't think there's any option, Danger Bob, but to print forever at this point. This is the problem, because once you start down that road of a Ponzi scheme, yeah, you're continually having to print more money to pay Paul, to pay back Peter, and print more money for them. And at the same time, you've got countries like China who are taking US dollars and using them, you know, trading in US dollars with their stock, with their stuff and their manufactured goods. They're taking the US dollars, they're using those, they're paying their own manufacturers in Chinese yuan. The Chinese central bank's just printing that, basically, giving it to the manufacturers in exchange for the dollars. The CCP uses them dollars to buy American treasury bonds, basically free, because they've just printed their yuan of the equivalent of the dollars that they've just got in from the exports. Yeah, it's sneaky stuff. Sneaky stuff. And I can't see, you know, yeah. So Danger Bob there, France had a couple of good examples of this late 17th and 18th centuries. And I'll tell you what, that time period there, Danger Bob, is really, it's amazing, because there's so many gaps in it of history. It's almost like they gloss over it and they don't want to talk about it too much. But yeah, I can hear it pouring with rain outside as well here in the UK. So I know that's what the weather is here. But But right, I'm gonna have to rock and roll because, like I said, I haven't been to sleep yet, and it's coming up for 7:30 in the morning, and I've got a live show tonight, so I've got to get some sleep, get up, finish a few bits and pieces. I've got to put the memes together. Had loads of memes sent in, so that should be good. I'll get that rocking. Absolutely, Danger Bob, and maybe I'll get you on the show as a guest, and we can talk about it. It sounds like you're knowledgeable, which doesn't surprise me because Danger Bob, for those that don't know, wins a load of the like Truth or Trivia awards and things like that for as part of the show. For those who haven't seen it, but yeah, so I'm gonna get cracking, and I wish you all a good day. So don't panic with the crypto thing. It's hard to say what's gonna happen, but I can tell you what's not gonna happen. I think it's gonna hold here for a while because of that area of resistance that we saw back when. For those that have just joined later on, so back here, this area here, it sat there for quite a while, and that's where this resistance is, and it's already rebuilding and rebounded straight back up. So it could have been something to pull off some sort of a trade. Like I say, El Salvador government bought 150 Bitcoin at 48 grand when it went down. Maybe it was coordinated. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. I'll see what I can find out by the SHTF breaking news tonight that we'll do Saturday, going live 11 PM UK time, 6 PM Eastern Standard Time. So thanks a lot, Danger Bob. I really appreciate your support, man, and I really hope your family occasion goes well and there's no arguments like I talked about last week on the Patreon video. Excellent. Lovely to see you. Thanks for the support, Danger Bob. It was lovely to see you in the chat. What a lovely surprise. So thank you so much. And if I do see you tonight, it'll be lovely. I'll give you a shout out. If I don't, I'll just be sobbing in the corner, clutching my knees, rocking backwards and forwards, wondering where you are. No pressure. Excellent. Well, thank you so very much. Thank you to anybody who joined, and give it a check out, see what you think, and see how it plays out today with the crypto news. And hopefully we won't be seeing anything that's particularly, worrying, let's say. I just wondered if, I'm pretty sure, I think it's this one. So yeah, well, thank you very much, and those that can join me tonight for the Ultimate Live Show, that would be great to see you. Just search Ultimate Live, #Ultimate Live Show. You'll see it tonight going live, and I look forward to seeing you there. But in the meantime...